wanted to make a video of me making a soap, but I ended up having like the biggest failure ever this week with this batch of soap. So instead, let's talk about the failure. It is a totally botched batch, and I'm a little frustrated. I'm trying to figure out what to do with it now, because I cannot wrap my mind around like just tossing this whole batch of soap. It's like 3+ pounds of soap, and I had such good intentions, and my heart is just broken over this batch, and I can't imagine just being like goodbye and tossing it in the garbage. So first, let me show you the fail soap. Are you ready? Boom. Here they are. So let's explain this. They were supposed to be cupcakes. I have not done cupcake soaps before, but I was like, okay, pour the base, do some frosting. It'll be cool. It'll be fine. I had vanilla pumpkin marshmallow. I had these cute little like pumpkin molds. I was going to top the cupcakes with them. Adorable. They were going to smell great. Thought it was perfect. A perfect fragrance for cupcakes, for fall. I was so excited. I spent so much time thinking these things up and planning it, and I was like, okay, no, I'm going to make the frosting white, and we're going to let the bottom naturally discolor to like this pumpkin bread sort of brown, and then have this cute orange pumpkin on top, and it's perfect. And then it wasn't. Everything that could go wrong with this batch did. So first, let's look at these. So first off, as you can see, they're in fact not beautifully, nicely piped. You can also see there are some issues with the bottom color. So we'll start with the bottom color because that doesn't need backstory. So the idea was that because this fragrance was high in vanilla, I wasn't going to put it in the frosting so it stayed white. I was going to put it in the base. It would discolor. As you can see, it started to discolor, but the whole thing isn't discoloring, and not all of them are discoloring. So now they look like these weird, I don't know, diseased, gross, moldy, whatever you want to call it, bottoms that I'm pretty sure nobody is ever going to want, because they do not look great. I mean, yeah, they're just a little freaky. So now let's talk about just where the whole failure of this batch in general came in. So I started making it. I tried a new recipe, which probably was a bad idea to begin with, because I was trying a new technique. I should have probably stuck to a tried and true recipe, not tried something new, but I did. So my hand blender stopped working in the middle of trying to whip the topping, so that sat, oh goodness, I'm sorry, so that sat longer than it should have, so it started to thicken up. But the problem was, like, this batch started to thicken up really fast to begin with, and like I hadn't even added my fragrance oil yet, and the top doesn't have fragrance, so that's not an issue. So I'm trying to pour these in the mold, and it's thick. So then I try and get this in the piping bag without really whipping it, because it's so thick as is. It will not come out of the piping bag. It's just a mess. And I'm just beyond frustrated and flustered. Can't figure out what's going on. It's just not going right. And then I realize I forgot an oil. Like, when I measured out all my oils and butters, I just totally didn't put one in. Like, well, no wonder it's not quite as fluid as it should be. Like, it's missing oil. So I'm like, how do I save this? So I throw it in the crock pot, and I'm like, all right, we're just gonna have to rebatch it, cook it down. They'll be a little more rustic bottoms, which they are. They're a little rough looking, I guess. Because if you know hot process, it is not fluid like cold process is, and it is very hard to get nice smooth features to hot process. So they're a little rough looking. Well, then at that point, I'm like, okay, now how do I frost them? Because once it's back in there, again, it's not fluid, it's rough. I was like, all right, I've seen this. I've seen cupcakes where they take like big ice cream scoops and they put a dollop on top. I was like, let's do it. So that's how I frosted them. And then I put this cute little pumpkin I made on them. I was like, all right. I was frustrated. It did not turn out anything like I thought it would or I wanted it to, but I was like, I can't say I'm proud of these. They did not turn out anything like I wanted, but I'm proud of myself for finding a way to fight through and get them done. And we have cupcakes, and I thought from here on out it's gonna be good. And then things have just continued to go wrong the last couple days. Pretty sure that most of the fragrance got flashed out while recooking it. It still smells good. And then the little pumpkin is fragrance, so there's fragrance, and it smells good. It's sweet, maybe not as much as it would have been. But then this whole discoloration thing, it did not work. And I'm thinking it might have been from recooking it. I'm not really sure though, to be honest, but they just, they look pretty bad. I don't know. And so I'm 99.9% sure I cannot do anything with these. Nobody is going to want these. They are, and that was the other thing I forgot. As they were sitting there the first day, they started leaking some fragrance oil. And I was like, what is going on? It wasn't much, and it was just a couple of them. And again, I think it might come from the recook, and I think there was issues with that in the fragrance. And so it's just everything about this batch was a disaster. And so, but I really thought maybe I had salvaged it. No, I'm thinking not so much. I don't think there's any way I can sell these because I just feel like there's no way somebody's gonna want this. It's freaky looking, but this one isn't too bad. This one kind of looks like a cute banana breadish look because it's mostly all discolored with slightly darker spots. But there are some that there's just it just doesn't look right, guys. And so now, there's no way someone would buy this, right? Because it doesn't, it was all supposed to look, ooh, that is bright. It's all supposed to look like this. But then it just didn't work like I was expecting, which nothing about this batch was so dead, so it shouldn't surprise me. It shouldn't surprise me that this happened with this batch in general. I should not have made soap this day when I did because I just woke up that morning and everything from the get-go was if it could go wrong, it was going to. I should have taken it as a sign that maybe you don't make soap today. But I was like, no, this is my thing. This is my stress reliever. This is how I'm going to deal with this day. And it just continued into my soap. So I just feel like there's no way people are going to want these speckly looking soaps, which is sad because some of them are still cute. Some of them took to the dollop frosting look well. It worked. And they smell good. So now my struggle is I don't know what to do with them. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. I knew that. I don't know why I had to recount. I was just being sure before I said something. I have 12. And I just, I literally, I'm slightly losing my voice, sorry guys. I literally cannot wrap my mind around just being goodbye soap, goodbye supplies, goodbye time, and my dreams of this. So I can't, I cannot, I tried to throw them away and just be forget it, it's gone, it's done, it's a mess, learn from it, move on. And I couldn't. I physically could not let myself throw things away. So now I have this struggle, what do I do with them? I'm trying to think, how I can rebatch them. Can I make some funky, weird confetti soap? I feel like the colors don't work for that. And then how do I... So that's where we're at. That's the struggle right now, is what do I do with these? Because they're a massive fail. And they will forever be a reminder of the fail as long as I look at them. but I can't get rid of them. So, if anyone has any ideas of what to do with them, I'd love that. Especially if you're a fellow soaper. What do you do with your fails? It's like, do I just need to get over it and throw them away? That's rough. So, that was this week's soaping adventure. Just thought I'd share them with you guys. I had such great ideas for them, and they had their own ideas. I'm gonna try them again though. I think I'm gonna go back to like my basic, simple recipe. Less oils, butters, very straightforward, simple recipe, tried and true, good. And try them again from that way. Make it something I know that is easy to work with to do a new technique. I should not have done a new recipe and a new technique. The saddest part about it all is I am currently now out of vanilla pumpkin marshmallow fragrance. I used the rest of it on this. And maybe that's the other reason I'm having a really hard time letting go of them, because I can't really order more. I don't have anything else I need, so it doesn't justify buying just this fragrance. But like, this was the dream fragrance attached to this idea, and I don't want to do them in something different, and I'm so sad that I'm out of the fragrance. But anyways, there we go. There's my funky pumpkin cupcakes. So hopefully y'all had a better week. And hopefully my next soaping adventure goes better than this.